Hi, welcome back to the Dance of Evolving. If you are new to the channel, I started this channel just to build a self-awareness and a continued path of healing and growing and giving to become our most sovereign, highest versions of ourselves. And today I'm going to get into a topic that I actually truly feel helps us build a self-awareness every day. And it is how to be well managed within yourself and also how to regulate your nervous system to where we can move from fight or flight to calm and connected. And when we think about being well managed within ourselves, it's knowing how to manage your emotions, but also the knowledge of how to integrate your emotions, work through them, and learn from past experiences and not to suppress them, but be able to use those as tools for growth. I truly believe that life is school and our relationships and our experiences are our curriculum as soon as we have the willingness to learn. And so knowing how to have an awareness and how to manage our chemistry and our energy that we have each day, it's almost like building a heaven, a home within ourselves and being able then to directly have clarity and be connected to our source, to God, to be able to use this vessel, our body and our mind, as an instrument to navigate and move along our days in the most productive way possible and in the way that we are meant to. Every life is naturally aspiring to be full. I mean, from a bird to an animal to a tree, every one of them is trying to be full within themselves. And if you look at nature doesn't need validation and doesn't have things suppressed within themselves. They are naturally going along in their state of flow. And if you go against this simply, it's like we let fear and suffering keep us from truly living and all the possibilities of what our life could truly be. And the tremendous immensity of being human is lost upon humanity. And as a collective group, whoever is willing to look within and take the time to feel what's going on in our bodies, to pay attention what thoughts are going on in our mind, is such a powerful thing. And it's managing thoughts and emotions, and not in a way where you're controlling them by tabling them for later or suppressing them, but you're shining a light in the dark areas that you feel in your body, and you feel the fogginess in your mind, and you know that there's a source to this, and you shine a light on that source. And then you have a toolbox of ways to get through it. And this is a really powerful thing that I want to talk about. We don't want to be standing up like ghosts in our life. And I was really thinking about this, and like my heart just opened when I thought about this, that I could think of times going on in my life or times when I experienced loved ones where our home soul frequency is when we are thriving, when we are feeling alive. It's almost like the same feeling when we go back to childhood and before all of the stories and the beliefs and things that robbed us of our joy and our love and our light. Before we felt that, we can get to that as actual adults. We can get to that innocence. We can get to that joy. And us standing in that truth causes a ripple effect to everyone around us, but it takes the work. And it takes daily work every single day. When we choose to be unaware of emotions and things suppressed within our body and our mind and our soul, we do become like walking ghosts sometimes. Our soul's still there. I think every human being, regardless of any actions, any personalities that they have taken on, anything has a soul, a home frequency that they can get back to. But it takes a willingness to step out of the whole mindset of we don't need anybody and choosing suffering not only for ourselves, but for everyone around us. Because let's be real, whatever we have within, we are projecting. It determines how we see our everyday life. It determines our thoughts. It determines our relationships. And we are going to attract what we have within in our life as well, because every experience that we're attracting is to, hopefully when we use them as lessons, to break free from certain cycles and to grow from them. So I'm talking about getting back to the fundamentals of life. If they are not truly grasped, you have to think, what is the true nature of your existence? We are all one. We are, when you look out at nature, when you think about God, God is within us. God's love can truly be within us, and more than a self-love, it's beyond self. And this type of realization can not only get your nervous system in check, it can create healing at a cellular level in your body. So let's get into this. And what I want to actually first talk about is an awareness of what happens with our central nervous system. Stan is snoring again. I just love it. But we experience a hyperarousal and the urge to attack, which is the fight, which is why we get angry or take things personal or have conflict with people and point the finger. Or we flee, flight, whenever our nervous system is triggered by any perception of danger, because our sympathetic nervous system becomes activated. When this becomes activated and we are not aware of it, we just react. As we're reacting, our body is taking also these emotions that we're not working through and storing them. Energy is everywhere. And I feel tense when this happens. I actually get sick. I can form diseases. And all of that comes back to a lack of my awareness of my fight or flight with my central nervous system, with my sympathetic nervous system. Now, when we have trauma and we're always scanning for danger, we're more likely to perceive things, and perception is reality in the moment. So we're more likely to perceive things that could be neutral as cues for threat. They lead to the sympathetic activation, and even when it's not a threat, we start to take that on, and we could completely misunderstand someone's actions. And the more that you deal with this, you have an awareness that everyone is working through things every day. We truly project what we have within. So if someone's projecting something on you, it's really not about you. It's about the awareness that they have of self, or the lack of awareness that they have of self. And we can see it with compassion, the more compassion that we have within. So we need to activate our parasympathetic nervous system, meaning being able to calm ourselves. And I'm going to go into how to do that. Now, having an awareness that if we do not take care of our wounds within us, we are chasing things from our wound and not choosing from our worth. Our worth is already within us. God's love living in and through us. It's a beautiful thing. It's what nature does. It's what we all do when we get back to our soul's home core frequency. So the goal is to not chase from our wound or react from our wound, but to respond and choose things and follow our intuition from our worth. Almost everything that you think or you do, it's a subtle reflection of what you believe about yourself. So noticing these beliefs, your beliefs will also activate your sympathetic nervous system. So it's not what you broadcast to everyone else that determines the trajectory of your life. It's what you whisper to yourself behind closed doors. It's when we take off all the masks. It's what we really believe about ourselves. And sometimes it's hard to actually face that. But we have the greatest power and influence on ourselves. We can become our own worst enemy or our very best friend by facing the darkness to step into the light. So let's talk about, there's actually a path that happens. And if we're aware of this path, it leads to chronic pain. It can lead to mental illness. And if we're aware of how this happens, we not only know how to deal with ourselves, but we also know how to view others with compassion and to not take things personal. So let's start when we are children. We have childhood experiences. We take on stories. This is usually unintentional. People are projecting things on us as children, and it can teach our brain to go into protective mode. The pure joy and love and innocence that we were feeling then goes into a danger alarm and a more sensitive. And then as we're growing older and even moving into elementary school and middle school, we start to grab coping strategies. And these coping strategies are like perfectionism, people pleasing. They create an ongoing state of tension. This is where you will even see younger, like human beings. You'll see middle schoolers start to take on, gaining weight, chronic illness, because things that are suppressed. And when children or even adults, it doesn't matter if you are 10, if you are 60, if you are not able to cope with what is surrounding you, if you walk out into the world and you are not sure how to cope and how to manage, and the awareness of the power that you have within you, or how you can misuse this power and actually work against yourself, you can create an ongoing state of tension in your nervous system. Or even as a child, you can learn how to free yourself from this. And this can be modeled by behaviors of adults or behaviors of people around. So what I'm saying is when you step into this power, you cause a ripple effect for others. Of course, health scares, major surgeries, incorrect diagnoses, anything can lead to this pain and this. You can think that things are much worse than they actually are. And the more intense, you experience a more intense experience of pain, and then you start to expect it. So health scares are a big thing as well. But major life events, all of this is like a domino effect. It all piles on top of each other. Trauma, a loss, or a move. Anytime that something doesn't go our way and we're not sure how to deal with it. And honestly, when we don't see events happening for us, but we see them happening to us, we naturally fall into victim mode. And when we do this, we're going to develop new symptoms within our body, or worse than the symptoms that are already existing. And guys, our body is a very intricate vessel that we live in, and it's a beautiful thing, but it also can be a scary thing when we allow these all of this trauma and all of this things that we might not understand, or we're ignoring, or we're scared to even look at, build up. Everyday adult stress as we become older, goodness gracious, that can combine with our overprotective nervous system. It starts to produce physical symptoms. We get headaches, migraines, stomach aches. My gut health, my digestive system is a huge indicator of what I'm dealing with on a daily basis and how I am, if I'm allowing myself to heal. And then it just begins a cycle of chronic symptoms. It can have it can begin anytime. Your overactive nervous system hits a personal tipping point, and then you have a physical injury, or something can just appear out of the blue. And your body is trying to tell you it is time to deal with this. So we might be talking about certain ways, like in the moment, to calm down, like breathing and grounding yourself. But more importantly, we're actually talking about facing yourself in a way that you can grow. And so learning your neural pathways and actually understanding them, and your neural pathways develop in the body as a pain, and it becomes chronic. So your body and your mind are working together. And the more nervous system practices in activating a symptom, this blows my mind, it's easier to become activated again. So you wake up in pain, and your brain is actually working with your body to create that pain. And as we continue to let this happen without an awareness, our brain actually changes. Our brain is a very powerful tool. Our soul is not our brain. To know we are not our mind, the thoughts that are going on in our mind, we are separate from them. But if we are not aware of that, and we're just like the captain of a ship letting our crew take over, our brain changes also take place when pain becomes chronic. But all of this is connected, guys. Our thoughts, when they gain momentum, and they are thoughts that do not serve us, and we live in fear, and we're constantly in that fight or flight, the pain becomes chronic, causing the brain to act protectively, detecting danger, triggering a pain response, even when no danger is present. Other people become the cause of our triggers, we think, but really our triggers are used for healing. They can be used as signals for, whoa, what do I need to look at within myself? Why am I triggered? So we are going to get into this. And then if we do not become aware of this though, we have these neural pathways that are paved then within our brain. They develop in the body as pain becomes chronic. The nervous system practices activating these symptoms, the easier it becomes to activate it again. The more that we practice this chronic pain, the more it actually happens. We're out there, we're scanning life in general. And when beautiful things are occurring around us, we only see the negative, we only see the threats. Our body's responding to it. Our brain is working with our body. It is a constant chronic cycle of hell on earth. And so then we continue to get pain-related stress. It contributes to the cycle of pain and alters our everyday life, our physical activity, our levels of our physical activity, our social habits, mental health, and more. Our body wants to heal, our mind wants to heal, but we have to work with it. And it starts with this self-awareness. So then we think about here, okay, well, let's target rewiring our brain. If we have this awareness with science-backed techniques, we can help our nervous system cultivate safety. This is where, when we feel unsafe, when we feel triggered, instead of pointing the finger, and this is truly when it shifts, when we look within and we see what is triggering me, what do I need to look at and deal with? What belief do I have about myself? Is this a belief I want to wear every day? Sifting through those belief closets, going back to the experience that it might have, caused you to take this cloak on of I'm not worthy, or I can't make it, or I'll never be good enough, or perfection is the only thing that's success. Really truly think, what are you subconsciously carrying around? And then start to work through the emotions tied to that and what's going on in your body, and build new neural pathways with pain relieving benefits like physical activity. We're going to go into ways that you can calm your central nervous system. Gratitude can help boost healing even further. Journaling, working through things, and then you get a fresh perspective. Your pain will often pave the way for symptoms to reduce. It can also come with an added benefits of more joy, more activity, and a loving relationship with the body. The moment you see yourself as working alongside God as your guide to heal, and then to become that beacon of light for the collective community around you, I mean, you're able then to blossom. So let's talk about ways that when you find that your central nervous system is going into that, fight or flight. And when you really think about it, when you have your sympathetic nervous system, when it truly becomes activated, what are some things that you can do to at least calm your mind to be able to look within? And the first thing would be grounding. When you meditate, when you pay attention to the cues by your senses, like your sight, your hearing, your touch, smell, taste, you relax your muscles, you body scan, and you look within your internal experiences in the present moment and see how maybe the past or your worries of the future might be inhibiting you from truly embracing this present moment and your purpose in the present moment. You can start to find safety and security in your body. It takes time to calm the mind and to look within. The content that I have to release this week, I have created a body scan meditation. It goes so perfectly with the content that I am speaking of right now. It is a 10-minute meditation. I'm going to link it below and also post this video today. So there will be 2 videos posted for content today, and then tomorrow I will have our weekly message, and it actually is all so perfectly aligned. So this week hopefully is encouraging for you. So as far as grounding goes with this meditation, you will have a body scan meditation that actually focuses on calming your nervous system and looking within. Outside of that, breath work is very helpful. When you intentionally slow down your breathing and make your exhales longer than your inhales, this can help you when you are in that fight or flight and it is intense. This can help oxygenate your blood, slow down your heart rate, and induce calmness, which then can help you look within and deal with the source of the pain, the source of the trigger, and any emotions that are connected to this that you might need to work through. Energy release is huge to shift your state. Energy is everywhere, and when it is suppressed within your body and you need to work through things, you can start thinking about and working through what is causing your nervous system to be activated by having an energy release. High intensity exercise, going for a run or a brisk walk, dancing, shaking. I literally sometimes, I'll shuffle sometimes like to EDM, but other times I'm just moving and shaking around. And when you do that and you release and you just literally dance and shake around like no one's watching, you are shifting your state. Moving your body helps to release excess energy related to this hyperarousal, the sympathetic activation. Even changing the temperature of your body can shift your state. So taking a cold shower. I mean, I know we all talk about cold plunges and those are so beneficial and they help so much, but we don't have to be in an actual ice bath. If you want to shift your state quickly, you can take a quick cold shower, put your face into a bowl of ice water, splash your face with super cold water, or even hold an ice cube in the palm of your hand. And this will reduce stress. And then again, start to think about what is actually causing me to go into this hyperarousal, what is causing me to feel this stress. Let me come back to the root of it and let me handle this today in layers and in the way that I feel I'm called to do so. I do want to talk about when we think of healing, we can't push and force. We can't push and force things away that are happening in our mind and our body. We are exposed to things all the time. How we work through them, and if we take them on and suppress them, or if we choose to use them as opportunities for growth, will change the trajectory of our life. So healing doesn't happen in places where you are pushing and forcing, but rather where you are surrendering and allowing. So I invite you to start to do body scans throughout the day. Start to live, and it's more than just, I'm going to meditate for 10 minutes, but really think about, how am I reacting to things around me? Am I reacting out of a wound, or am I responding to life knowing my worth? And doing that, the best way to know your worth and to really know who you truly are is to work through all of the things that are keeping you from truly living, and listening to our nervous system, listening to the thoughts that go on in our mind, and knowing that we are not our body, we are not our mind, but these are tools that when they are lined up, we are a powerful force. And we do not want to work against ourselves. We want to be the healer within. We want to be able to use any pain, anything that we viewed ourselves as a victim, to become the victor, and to be able to work through things and become triumphant in our own life. As we stand in this truth lined up with who we are in our soul, more and more each day, we truly cause a ripple effect on everyone around us. And then it kind of passes on. So it is our job, our one job, to find our way back to our soul, our home frequency. And in doing so, our nervous system is a great tool to listen to. Our triggers are a great tool to listen to. And we're on our own journey. Everyone else is on their own journey. And once we make sure we're on the right path, we're adding the harmony to this world in that moment. And that is our one job. So don't forget to check out the body scan meditation. And then tomorrow I have a lovely few-minute weekly message that you will just love. And it goes right along with what we're talking about today. So peace and love. I truly, just with the love within me and for life itself, I love all of you. And we are all in this together. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And if you feel that anyone would benefit from this video, don't forget to like and share. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you're liking this content and you feel that it will move you forward on your journey, go ahead and subscribe. I'm here for you guys, and we are all moving forward one day at a time. All right.